Hello everyone, welcome to COSA 50 Web. I'm Professor Almeida and I will be your instructor for the 2 weeks that we are together. Coming up in this video, I will show you everything you need to know and what to expect for your first week of class, which starts on Monday, March 3rd. Now, I don't have a too long didn't watch or Cliff Notes version of this video, so if you need to take a break, you always have that pause button. And before I continue, I just want to put this out there. This is a faster paced version of my 16-week COSA 50 class. So in other words, you are learning the same amount of material in a shorter period of time. And because of this, you want to pace yourself accordingly, especially since this is a 4-unit class. If you are a full-time student, a 4-unit class, that's already a third of your course load. All right, so just keep that in mind. And without further ado, let me show you how to get started using our one-stop shop called Canvas. To begin, you want to visit the LBCC website at lbcc.edu, and you can click or tap on the Viking portal. You can also choose Canvas LMS. Either way, you're going to have to log in to the Viking portal, and you will need your student ID number and your Viking portal password. Now, if you don't remember your password, the best and easiest thing to do is to just reset your password. Don't try to guess it. Otherwise, if you get locked out, you're going to have to contact the Student Technology Help Desk, and we'll talk about that later in the video. So when in doubt, just reset your password. Once you are in the Viking portal, you can click or tap on the big Canvas button, or if you're here on the Canvas LMS page, once you're logged into the Viking portal, you will be taken to the Canvas dashboard. Now, if you've never used Canvas before, let me give you a quick tour. First, we'll start with card view here. You can click on the 3-dot menu and choose card view. That way, it's easier to see our class compared to list view. So if you're in list view, for example, it's going to look something like this. Well, it has to think about it first, but it might be hard to find things when you're in this view. So card view is best. You want to stick with that, and you should see our COSA 50 class here. On the left where you see account, this is where you can edit your profile and go over your notification settings. It's very important that you receive notifications for this class, as I primarily communicate through Canvas announcements. If you need to contact me for whatever reason, the best and easiest way to do that is through the Canvas inbox that you see here on the left. I do ask that you allow up to 24 to 36 hours for me to get back to you. And as you can see here, I teach a number of different classes and I am fairly busy. So I do appreciate your patience and understanding. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our class here. And let me go ahead and update this. Whoops, that's for another class. There we go. So I'm doing this in one take, and I'll just leave that in there. Okay, so this is our homepage here for the class. And again, I'm Professor Almeida. You can learn more about me by visiting my website at jpalmeida.com. And as I mentioned, the best and easiest way to contact me is through the Canvas inbox, and I do ask that you allow 24 to 36 hours for a reply. So this COSA 50 class is fully online and asynchronous. So what does that mean? It means that there are no scheduled class meetings. Your only real requirement is to log into Canvas and complete the weekly assigned material. And your interactions with me, unless you choose to see me in student office hours, which I'll get to in a moment, your interaction with me will be through this right here and through the announcements. Okay, so it's very important that you stay on top of things. And if you've never taken an online class, this is actually a clickable link here to the online student readiness page. Now, my student office hours are a way for you to connect with me on the course material. And if you have questions for me, or if you need to talk to me about something, you can see me in person on Mondays from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. in M229. This is actually the COS computer lab. So I will usually be there Mondays 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. And Thursdays I will be in the Canvas course chat that you see here. So again, Thursdays from 9 to noon Pacific time. You can drop into the chat if you have questions. Keep in mind that this chat space is public. So if you need to discuss something with me in private, you can message me through the Canvas inbox. And if you do message me during my student office hours, I'm more likely to respond to you right away than outside of student office hours. But again, Mondays in person, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. in M229 if you want to drop by to see me, or Thursdays, you can drop into the Canvas course chat from 9 to noon Pacific time. Now, outside of my student office hours, you can use this Canvas course chat to talk amongst yourselves as a way to get support in the class. All right, so for the rest of this video, I'm going to take you through these bullet points on how to get started. We'll get into modules and I will show you the different ways to get support in the class. And again, if you need the pause button, it's there waiting for you. And speaking of the pause button, I do need to pause this video real quick and I will be right back. All right, and we're back. So let's go ahead and go through this list here on how to get started. We're going to begin with the syllabus. The syllabus is your guide to this class and what to expect. It's very important that you read the syllabus and refer to it throughout the course. And again, as I mentioned, this is a faster paced version of the 16-week course. So make sure that you are staying on top of things. One other thing I want to mention here, this is a structured course with weekly assigned material. It is not self-paced. And as you will see later on, the Canvas modules unlock 2 weeks at a time. And this is so that you stay focused on the topic and you don't get too far ahead. And it's also an appropriate pace for the class. Take a look at the required materials here. Since this is a fully online class, you do need to have internet access. You will also need a Windows-based desktop or laptop PC because one of the programs that we're going to cover later in the course is Microsoft Access, and Microsoft Access is only available for Windows. Now, if you don't have access to a Windows PC, or if you can't install Microsoft 365 for whatever reason, I'll tell you about your support options a little bit later. And speaking of Microsoft 365, you can get that for free as a LBCC student, and I'll give you more details on how to get started with Microsoft 365 when we get closer to week 3. You'll see that we will also use another piece of software called Gmetrics SMS, but that's not until later in the course towards the end. And as you can see here, course materials do not support Macs, Chromebooks, mobile phones, or tablets. And again, if you don't have a Windows PC, consider getting support. This COSA 50 class participates in what's called the First Day program. You can go look in the class schedule for more info. I strongly recommend that you do not opt out of First Day, because if you do, you will need to purchase Cengage Unlimited, and it's going to cost you a whole lot more than the reduced price with First Day. But hey, you know, it's a free country. If you want to opt out, more power to you, but I strongly recommend that you don't opt out unless you like paying a whole lot more than $87.50. And then finally, whatever you need to take notes, make sure you have that as well. Here are the important dates you need to know. And here are the ways to get support. Now, I have a couple of tabs open just to show you. So we'll start here with COS Tech Support. You can also find the COS Tech Support by going down the left here, and you should see a link to COS Tech Support. But this is the page, and if you enroll into the class, and you can't see me, but I'm using air quotes here. If you enroll into the class, this allows you to also get Zoom support. But these are the hours for the COS Computer Labs. We have 2 labs, one in M229, that's a LAC. And again, this is where you will find me for student office hours on Mondays. But these are the hours for LAC, and these are the hours for TTC. And if you scroll further down, you will be able to contact our instructional assistants. Now, if you need to get help with using LBCC technology, whether it's using Canvas or maybe you got locked out of the Viking portal, this is how you can contact the Student Technology Help Desk. And again, I'm just showing you from the syllabus here on the second page. You can also go to the campus resources page in the welcome module on the modules page in Canvas, and you'll see the same links. And then if you want information about first day, we'll get into that in a moment. If you are new to online learning, be sure to look at the resources here. There is also a free and ungraded self-paced set of modules called Quest for Online Student Success. And then lastly, if you need to get one-on-one tutoring, this is done through the Multidisciplinary Success Center. Be sure to read through this information. And here is the current schedule. I will scroll down and show you COSA 50 here. So this is COSA 50 in person at LAC if you need to meet with someone one-on-one, or if you prefer online, here are the hours for COSA 50. Now the hours do change, so be sure to check back and review the schedule. And again, you can click on the link here in the syllabus or on the campus resources page in the welcome module. And you'll see there's a couple of other resources mentioned here. We each have our roles in the class, so be sure to take a look at this. And I will skip through all the way to the end here. And again, you want to go through and read the syllabus, but I want to show you the last page because this is what we are doing week to week. And as you can see here, for our first week, we will be covering 3 chapters. Again, we're moving at a faster pace because this is a 12-week course, so we needed to shave off 4 weeks. And where those cuts are with TFS, and at the end with the MOS prep. So TFS is going to go by very quickly, and to be honest, it's not a whole lot, okay? And you're going to see this with the assignments shortly. But what I would suggest as far as pacing goes, on Monday, you get acquainted with class and you start with TFS Chapter 1 on the impact of technology. And then let's say Tuesday, you get into Chapter 2 with the web, you work on the training sims. And then Wednesday, you get into Chapter 3 with computer hardware. And then make Thursday your exam day where you go over the exams for Chapters 1 through 3. And then you can pretty much take the Friday off. That would be my suggestion. But again, you can see the pace here that you have a number of assignments that you need to get done for your first week. Now, I'm only requiring one assignment to be turned in by Monday, March 10th. And that is TFS Concepts 1 training. It is a participation requirement, and everyone enrolled in the course needs to turn in TFS Concepts 1 training on time. If you don't do this, I will assume that you're no longer interested in the course and you will be dropped, especially considering that there is a wait list at the moment, and that way I can make room for others who want to add the class. Now, you're not necessarily off the hook just by turning in TFS Concepts 1 on Monday, March 10th, because you still need to work on chapters 2 and 3. But if you look here in week 2, starting on your due date for TFS 1, you have Chapter 4. Again, I suggest covering Chapter 4 on Monday with OS and file management. Chapter 5, software and apps. And then Chapter 6, safety and security. And then you take your exams for TFS 4 through 6, and the due date for all of the rest of your TFS assignments other than TFS Concepts 1 training is Sunday, March 16th. This is still within the ad drop period, and I will still be closely watching for participation. So if you just turn in TFS Concepts 1 training and then you disappear after that and you don't turn in a single thing, I will still assume that you don't want to be in the class and you will be dropped so that I can make room for others. And then once we get to week 3, this is where the pace follows the normal 16-week COSA 50. So we will spend 2 weeks with Word, and then we'll do 2 weeks with PowerPoint. And then in the back half of the course, 2 weeks with Excel, 2 weeks with Access. And then for the final 2 weeks, this is where you will work on your Excel and Access capstones along with your MOS prep using Gmetrics. I'll give you more details about MOS qualification towards the end of the course. So you can see that the pace moves very quickly, and it's very important that you stay on top of things. Now, with that said, what I want you to do next is to take the due dates you see here and plug them into your personal calendar. And as a matter of fact, that is the second bullet point right here. Plug all due dates from the syllabus into your calendar. All right, so how are we doing? Again, I don't have a Cliff Notes or too long didn't watch version of this video, so if you need a break, you always have the pause button. All right, let's take a look real quick here. We're getting started with First Day in SAM, so you can read more about what this First Day program is. It's a partnership with the LBCC bookstore, and again, I strongly recommend that you do not opt out. Okay, I strongly recommend that you do not opt out unless you like paying more for Cengage Unlimited. And what you need to do to get started is to go to the TFS Concepts 1 training assignment, and you're going to create a Cengage account so that you can use SAM. And you can read more about how to complete the various SAM activities. I've put together a couple of videos for you to watch. And then as far as Microsoft 365 is concerned, I'll give you more details when I record the announcement for week 3. And then one last thing here, we do have an icebreaker discussion thread, so feel free to introduce yourself, not just to me, but to everyone in the class. And that way we can build community, because with online classes, especially asynchronous, it can be real tough to build community, and this is one of your lifelines right here. Okay, so once you have gone through the bullet points of how to get started, we can then move on to our weekly modules. And this is what the page looks like. Let me scroll up real quick here. So this is the welcome module, and if you click on campus resources, you'll get those links to the various forms of support that you see right here. Okay, let's scroll on down, and you'll see there's a direct link to SAM if you prefer to use that. You have links to your ebooks and Cengage resources. So this includes Technology for Success and then the Shelley Cashman series for Microsoft 365. You also have links to Cengage tech support if you're having issues with SAM. So here we are, week 1. And as I mentioned, TFS Concepts 1 training is due as a participation requirement. It's actually due on Monday, March 10th. You want to take a look at the concepts overview page. So be sure to read through this on what to do. Okay, so again, make sure you read through this on what to do for the week. And my suggestion is get settled in on Monday and start with TFS Concepts 1 training. So to get started with your assignment and to register with Cengage, simply click on this link and it will take you to SAM, where you need to create a Cengage account. Now, you're not going to see this because I'm essentially in God mode here, but this is what your TFS Concepts 1 training is going to look like. So this is the environment, and you'll see that you have 22 tasks. You're more or less watching videos and answering quiz questions. It's the easiest way to get points in the class, especially this early in the game. So you want to max out and don't leave points on the table. So here's what you do. You basically play the video.
The many interconnected monitoring devices that make up.
And I'll go ahead and pause here. And as a matter of fact, I'll cheat a little bit, show all controls. And then I'll scroll all the way to the end here, and we'll play this out.
Those pesky engine codes.
All right, so you'll have a quiz question, and it'll come in different forms. You'll have multiple choice, or in this case, multiple response, where there are multiple correct answers, or true false. Okay, so let's take a look at this one here. A video doorbell can assist you by what? Select all that apply. And if you watched the video or read the transcript, I'll just show you right here. You can click on the answers, and in this case, I got it correct, and I'll move on to the next task here. And you can see that there's a check mark here. If you need to take a break, don't hit the green submit button. You can simply X out of the window, and then when you're ready, you just click on TFS Concepts 1 Training. You come back in, you'll pick up where you left off. You can also skip around, but make sure you keep track of which ones you skipped over. So let's go ahead and answer another quiz question. And again, I'll show all controls. I'll skip all the way to the end. And you'll get something like this. Embedded software usually runs only during the boot process of a device. Let's say I choose this as the answer. In this case, it's correct. Okay. If you get an answer wrong, right? Let me show you. If you get an answer wrong, and I'll skip ahead to this.
The many interconnected
Okay, so
monitoring
show all controls.
are rapidly changing the ways we
And let's skip all the way to the end here. All right, let's say I choose an incorrect answer. This is what's going to happen. I can retry and then answer the question correctly. And as you can see, A and C are obviously not the right answers. And then I can move on and earn my points. Okay, so when you finish all 22 tasks, you're going to see this. And then you could also verify your grade by checking the Canvas gradebook. Now, your exams are going to work the same way. For chapter 1, you're going to have the same 22 tasks. Maybe the questions and answer choices will be a little bit different, but you get the idea. It's open book, open note, open web. You can Google for things, but at the same time, when you're choosing your answers, make sure it's the best answer and what is expected from reading the ebook and watching the videos. So I hope that this all makes sense. And with that, welcome aboard to the course. Let's make sure that we are staying on track. Again, this is a faster paced COSA 50 class. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. And with that, glad to have you here. Thanks for watching, and let's have a good 12 weeks together.